Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a topic that touches almost all of our lives, yet we rarely stop to examine the deep, often surprisingly heavy mechanics behind it. We're talking about the hidden psychology of over-apologizing. We're going to look at the intense psychological toll of excessive apologies, extreme self-denial, and most importantly, how we can completely transform the way we respond to people when they're spiraling into guilt.
Have you ever felt uneasy when someone apologizes profusely to you? Think about a time when someone made a mistake, and instead of just saying, "I'm sorry," they kept going. Maybe they were crying, bowing, just relentlessly seeking your forgiveness. Instead of feeling resolved, you probably felt this creeping sense of dread, right? Or maybe a sudden heaviness in your chest. You might have even thought to yourself, wait, why do I feel so bad when they're the one apologizing to me? Well, your experience is entirely valid. And as we'll see, there's a very specific psychological reason for that exact discomfort.
Section 1. Why apologies feel heavy.
And this brilliantly illustrates the paradox we're dealing with. Normally, a healthy apology acts as a bridge. We inconvenience someone, we apologize, and it repairs the relationship. It connects us. But what happens when the apology is repeated endlessly? It stops being a bridge and completely turns into a wall. By continuously blaming themselves, the apologizer actually forces the receiver right into a corner. The apology becomes the objective itself, rather than a tool for connection.
So, what is actually happening here? Well, over-apologizing is a psychological mechanism where someone continuously blames themselves to force forgiveness, ultimately turning the apologizer's pain into the receiver's burden. This is that exact moment the dynamic shifts. The person who is wronged suddenly feels like the bad guy. The pain of the apologizer has unfairly shifted onto the person receiving the apology, which creates an incredibly uncomfortable and heavy environment for everyone involved.
Section 2. Behind the over-apologizing.
Now, what's really interesting about these hidden emotional drivers is that the excessive apology isn't always about pure, unadulterated guilt. It's often masking something else entirely. Excessive apologizing can actually cover up wounded pride or misdirected anger. In some cases, extreme self-sacrifice operates as a silent pressure. It's this unconscious attempt to gain the upper hand by monopolizing the victim role. If we just blindly accept these excessive apologies without realizing what's happening underneath, we can easily get swallowed by their pace. That traps both people in a really unbalanced relationship where one person is constantly carrying an invisible debt.
Section 3. Handling extreme self-denial.
Sometimes, apologies escalate into shocking territory. You might hear really intense phrases like, "I won't do this again until I die," or even the extreme, "Please kill me." Now, when we hear words like this, our natural reaction is pure confusion, maybe even panic. But it is absolutely vital to recognize that when an apology becomes this radical, it means the apologizer's self-worth has completely collapsed. A single mistake has made them totally deny their own value and existence.
We have to fundamentally reframe this. This is not a literal request. It is a psychological SOS. The person is not actually asking for punishment or death. They're desperately signaling the sheer depth of their internal distress. They have backed themselves into a psychological corner. If we take their words at face value, we miss the point entirely. So how should we respond to this kind of SOS without validating their self-destruction?
The source material offers a fascinating, unexpected diffusion for this. When faced with an extreme apology like, "Please kill me," a light dismissal just doesn't work. Instead, you reply with something like, "If you do it again, I will die first. So follow me." I know, at first glance, this sounds incredibly unconventional, but what it does is absolutely brilliant. It acknowledges the gravity of their emotional state without attacking them. By referencing the profound weight of life, you disrupt their self-denial loop. It sends a quiet, firm message that a life isn't something to be casually offered up as a punishment. It immediately diffuses the tension.
Section 4. Choosing words for the future.
Okay, let's dive into this with a very common scenario, the free of charge strategy. Imagine a service provider makes a mistake and says, "I am so sorry, I will do this completely free of charge." If you just say, "Okay, thanks," their guilt might actually skyrocket. Instead, use this two-step approach. Step 1, accept the offer gracefully by saying, "Thank you, I will accept this for free today." Step 2, immediately book the next appointment. Say, "However, I'd like to book my next session with you right now." Accepting the apology while actively promising future business totally relieves their guilt. It proves the relationship isn't over, it's continuing.
But what about when someone is so overwhelmed by guilt that they just go completely silent?
Forcing words from a silent person, pressuring them with questions, that just causes them to close up further because they're already terrified. Contrast that with demonstrating patience. Imagine telling them, I will become someone you want to talk to, so I'll wait. This removes the pressure entirely. It respects their pace and gently creates a safe atmosphere for them to open up whenever they are ready.
Section 5. Developing the capacity to watch over.
So how do we hold space for someone trapped in an over-apologizing loop? First, avoid digging up past mistakes. Rehashing the error only fuels their self-punishment. Second, and honestly most importantly, paint a picture of a bright future. People let go of past obsessions the moment they can see hope ahead of them. Third, maintain a warm and observant presence. Don't scold them, but don't ignore them either. Just stay somewhere comfortably in the middle. Because when people realize they're safely being watched over, they regain their resilience with astonishing speed.
So, the crucial point is this. You might be thinking to yourself, this requires a lot of emotional depth. I'm not sure I can really do this. But if you are engaging with this explainer, you already have the capacity to help. The very fact that you are interested in the hidden pain of others, that you followed along to understand this psychology, proves that you possess the empathy needed. You've literally already taken the first step. Now it's just about practicing these words in your daily life.
The source material leaves us with this incredibly powerful metaphor. Someone was an umbrella or a sun for you. Now it's your turn. Throughout your life, during hard times and peaceful ones, someone stepped in to be an umbrella, shielding you from the rain, or a sun warming your path. It could have been a parent, a mentor, maybe a friend. Once you realize how you were supported, you realize that you absolutely possess the power to be that guiding light for someone else caught in their own storm of self-doubt.
We've uncovered the heavy mechanics of over-apologizing, and much more importantly, the transformative power of your response. By looking past the words and pointing toward the future, you have the ability to break someone's cycle of self-denial and completely replace it with hope. So I want to leave you with this lingering question to carry out into the world. Who will you be an umbrella for today?